Hi. Today we're going to talk about tires. This is a box of old tires. Old. None of them are worn out. A lot of them are perfectly serviceable. I think some of them haven't even been used yet. But this is a tire episode. We're going to talk about tires today. Welcome to Wild Boy Cycling. I'm Brian. John's still traveling. It's a bad idea. Tires. Last episode, I showed you me building up my Soma fog cutter with the express purpose of putting chunkier tires on it. Now, when I built that up, I had my road wheels with road tires on it. These are my off-road wheels. The issue is, these are 33 mils. They're cyclocross tires, Victorias. These are the tires that I had on these wheels, running it on the Raleigh, which is a cyclocross frame that's really limited tire width. These definitely don't fit my need for what I want to do when I go out riding off-road. I need bigger tires. The problem is, what tires? Now, what prompted this conversation for me, in my head anyway, was a couple weeks ago, John and I took the nephew out to the local dirt criterium course over at Annandale, Spring Lake area, which to practice, because the little guy's thinking about doing that race sometime. And to make things fun for me, I took my new Albion Privateer with these tires on it. Now, as I mentioned last episode, I just moved. I used to live right next door to that park, literally a tenth of a mile to get into trails. And now I live on the other side of town. So I ran these tires, which I had been on the new Albion since I built it up. These are Bontrager Batasso, Beta, SSO, whatever you want to call that. Tires that John gave me because he bought them for one of his bikes and then didn't like them, or didn't even want to install them and got something different. And they were free, so I was running these. And they're a little chunky. What size are these? 42? I don't think they measured up to 42. They were probably more like 40 when I had them on the wheels. But I had never ridden these on road very far until I rode over to meet John and Calvin for that little course eval. And these are slow, super slow. And so I did what I should never do. I got on bicyclerollerresistance.com and I tried to find these tires on it. Now, that website has not tested these specific tires, but Bontrager has like another tire in the same line, called a Giro, I think, maybe a Gira. And those are listed on rollerresistance.com, and they're basically the slowest tire on there. I think I found one like fat bike tire that had more rolling resistance to the cousin of this one, but just one. The cousin of this one in the same line as the Batassos had over 40 watts of rolling resistance per tire. And since you have two tires on your bike, that's 80 watts of rolling resistance on these tires at 18 miles an hour, which is like doable speed for me anyway. That's a lot, considering when I do like my first century I ever did a few years ago, I averaged 80 watts total over the whole ride. Like 80 watts is like most of what I do. That's not including wind resistance or anything else. This is a slow tire, so I'm assuming this is really close to that other one. This is a slow tire. I don't have 80 watts to give up. So I don't want to put these on my fog cutter. And so going through here, I've got lots of tires. Lots and lots of tires. What is this one? This is WTB. This is a Byway. What is this? This is a Volpine 36. This is what I rode in Steamboat. WTB Volpine. This is another WTB, right? What are you? This is Byway. Just look this up. These are 34s. The Byway 40s on rolling resistance is like 25. I should look that up. $26 for the Byway 40s. These are 34s. There shouldn't be too big a difference between those two. So these are still pretty slow. I mean, to compare, my GP 5000s here are like 14 or something. That's a road tire, obviously, in 30 mil. What is this one? Bruise the other Byway. Again, too slow, maybe. Uh-oh. Stay up there. Too many tires. This is what I was looking for. Gravel King, Pan Racer, 35s. So I think John rode these for a little while and didn't like them or upgraded them or something and gave them to me. And then I put them in a box. And now I think I'm going to put them on these wheels. Everybody loves Gravel Kings. Let's check the website. Pan Racer, Gravel King, 35 mil, according to bicyclerollingrossi.com, at low pressure, 16 watts per tire, 16.6. Compare that to 26 for the Byways, right? So similar size tire, similar tread pattern. These save 10 watts per tire, so total of 20 watts. And again, these days on a 100-mile bike ride, I averaging 100 watts. So that saves me, what, 20% of my power, which is a big deal for me. And this is why we need to have the tire conversation. Because if you're like me and you're not like a super fast rider who's going 25 miles an hour on average on your rides, these are the biggest things slowing you down. So if you're not thinking about these, you're losing time. All right, let's swap these tires out, see what it looks like. So there we go. I got Gravel King AC 35s from Pan Racer on my Soma fog cutter. Theoretically saving me 20 watts over whatever tire I was talking about. Oh, that was the Byways. More likely saving me something more like 30 or 40 watts over the Bontrager ones. Also worth pointing out, these the Vittorias that I took off of here say they're 33s on these rims. They measured in at 35. These Pan Racer Gravel Kings say they're 35s on this rim, and they measure at 38 millimeters. So that's actually a little more chunk than I was hoping to get out of these tires, but not quite really where I want to be. But I think this is what I'm going to run on here for a while till these tires wear out, and I want to upgrade to something chunkier, unless I want to go down the route of getting some 650B wheels and then putting some real trunk on here. But there we go. So takeaway: check out your tire rolling resistance. To put it into like terms that aren't just like engineering units, on these Batassos, when they were on my New Albion, my like cruising zone 2, not working hard, but also not lollygagging speed was around 14, 15 miles an hour. Right before I took these off, I took a nice zone 2 ride on this Soma with these Vittorias. That cruising speed was more like 16 miles an hour. With my road tires, these are GP5000s. My cruising speed, not lollygagging and not working hard, is more like 18, 19 miles an hour. On a flat, smooth road with no headwind. So these, I'm hoping, will be somewhere around 17, because these actually have pretty good rolling resistance comparatively to a lot of other tires this size. Worth also pointing out, I don't think I have them anymore. I got rid of them. Classic, old school roadie tire. The Gator Skins, which are really puncture resistant. These, big chunky, coming in at like 38 mil on these rims with big knob on the treads. These have substantially less rolling resistance than a set of 25 mil slick Gator Skins that everybody who's been riding for a long time and doesn't like pop tires has been riding. Those are more like, not as bad as these, but those are more like some of the other slower gravel tires out there for such a tiny slick tire. So it's not about tread pattern, it's not about even size of the tire, it's all about what the tire's made out of, mostly sidewall, the sidewall's made out of. Editor's note here, here's a graphic of all the tires I talked about and their rolling resistances. These are in watts if they're not stated elsewhere. Also the pressures, because the different width tires need different appropriate pressure when they measure, when bicycle rolling resistance measures them. And as you can see, there's a big spread here. Also worth noting is that the GP5000s, the 30 millimeter tires, and the Gator Skins, those are road tires, and they list only really high pressures for those, versus the gravel tires. They list low pressures, unless you want to pay the pro membership, which I don't, so I don't have those numbers. Anyway, back to the regular scheduled program. But anyway, I hope you maybe learned something today. I hope you check out your tires on bicyclerollingresistance.com. By the way, they did not sponsor this video. I'm just slightly obsessed with that website. I don't even have like the pro membership, which you can get more info from about tires with that. But if they do want to sponsor the channel and they do want to give me a free pro membership, that would be fantastic. So bicyclerollingresistance.com, if you're watching, that'd be great. Yeah, check out your tires on the website. See if you're giving up watts. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but 5 watts per tire is 10 watts, and if you can give up 10 watts, then you probably aren't watching this channel. Anyway, go out, ride, have fun, and as always, keep the rubber side down.